Hello everybody, it is Tony Ann with StudyFetch, and I am super excited for today's video because we're going to be talking about something that I am honestly so passionate about, which is time management. The reason that I'm so passionate about time management is because I am a high achiever and I always like to go after a lot of different things at the same time. So throughout the years of high school and university, I've always managed more than one job at once while also maintaining being a top student. And the main reason that I've been able to sustain this lifestyle over the years is because of my time management skills and more specifically methods that I implement into my daily life. And so today I want to share with you my time management methods that I think are underrated. And if you start implementing them into your life, not only will you be able to get more stuff done in your days, but these practices will also help you see better results in whatever you're trying to achieve. So for example, higher grades in your classes, better performance in your clubs, sports, social life, whatever it may be. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Method number one is to keep everything in one calendar. Now, at first you might think that this is obvious, but you would be surprised. I am always surprised by my friends and my peers because what I see time and time again is, other students who have a lot going on in their life, but they will have different notebooks, different systems, different calendars for different aspects of their life. Or like just within school, they'll have a calendar for each class, or they'll have like a spot for all of their assignments and then a spot for all of their tests and then a different spot where they write their class calendar. Whereas personally, what I like to do is I will put everything in my life, school, job one, job two, personal life, workouts, everything in my life in the same calendar. Now, if it isn't obvious, the main benefit of having everything in your life in one place rather than different places is that it allows you to take in everything into consideration when you are planning your time. For example, if you have a test coming up and you know that you have 1 week to study for it, and you're like, okay, I'm just going to study for an hour every day for 7 days, and that's enough time. In theory, that makes a lot of sense. But then when you're looking at your calendar, you see, oh wait, actually that one day, that entire day, I have a soccer tournament, and I genuinely will not have the time or the brain power to study for that day. And so when you're planning your study sessions in advance, you'll know, okay, I need to take that hour and move it the next day. But the next day, you get the idea. It just allows you to see the big picture, which is really important when it comes down to good time management. Method number two is the 80-20 rule. Now, you've probably heard of this before, but if you haven't, it's basically that 80% of your results come from only 20% of your efforts. And the goal of this method is to identify the 20% of the critical tasks that yield the most significant impact or results, and then prioritizing those 20%. An example that I think most students can relate to, no matter what you're studying in school, is you're always going to have classes where you're going to get a lot of readings that you have to obviously read and then try to memorize, but also you'll have to apply those principles from those readings. For example, from my experience, I'm thinking of biology and psychology. Now, let's say that your professor assigned you all these readings, but also all these practice questions. And the way that most teachers and professors assign this work is do the reading, then the problems. Reading problems, reading problems. Now, in an ideal world, yes, that is exactly what I would do too. But realistically, that's not always possible. So when I don't have time to do everything that my professor assigns, I will figure out what that 20% is. Sometimes it's just reading the chapter summaries and then doing a few of the practice questions. Other times, those readings are really important and I need to prioritize those. Now, in that particular situation, if I did have a lot of readings to do and not enough time, I would actually upload all of my reading files into the website studyfetch.com and then go onto the chat feature and ask Sparky, the AI dog, to help summarize the most important concepts from these readings. So as much as I wish it was a one-size-fits-all, I really can't tell you what exactly is that 20%. That is something that you have to figure out and learn with time. But just knowing this concept and learning to put on that lens when you are studying will really help you cut out the things that aren't making a big difference when it comes to learning and doing well in school. Method number three is what I like to call microlearning on the go. I want you to take a second and think about your past week and all the times when you've had to wait. Wait in line at the grocery store, wait during your commute, whether it's on public transport or in the car, wait for an appointment, wait for a class to start. The list goes on and on. Now, as a very busy person myself, I always take advantage of these waiting periods by using them to microlearn. I'm actually not sure if I'm using the term microlearn properly in this context, but basically, whenever I have these waiting periods in my day-to-day life, I'll take up my iPhone and I will start doing my digital flashcards. This is such an easy and convenient way to sprinkle learning throughout your day because the flashcards are literally always on me because they're on my phone. It's been such a game changer ever since I switched from physical flashcards to digital flashcards, and I'm actually going to do a little demo to show you how easy and fast it is to generate these digital flashcards using StudyFetch. Okay, so here we are on the main page of StudyFetch, and I'm on my Psychology 102 class. So I'm going to go over to the flashcards section and hit New Flashcard Set. Then I'm going to hit Create from Materials. And here are things that I've already uploaded. So these are all lecture slides, and I can very easily upload more of them, but just for the sake of time, I'm going to you can click on as many as you want. You could do like just one lecture slide, all of them. So let's say I have these 3 lectures that I want to create flashcards for. I can also decide what kind of flashcard. So term and definition is typically what I like to do, very traditional. But you can also do audio, multiple choice, fill in the blank, and close, and hit next. On this page, I can further customize them, but I'm not going to do that today. Hit create flashcards, and we'll see literally within seconds. I'm not even going to cut this video just to show you how quick it is. See? Took seconds. Bam. I have my terms and definitions. And now the last step is to simply download the app on your phone, and then you can do these flashcards from the convenience of your pocket. My fourth and final time management method is podcasts. I've always been a big podcast listener myself, so when I found out that I can actually take my lecture materials, my lecture notes, whatever relevant information that I'm learning in class, upload that into StudyFetch, and then turn it into an engaging, interesting podcast, my mind was blown, and it totally changed the way that I study. Not only does it make studying a lot more interesting than reading a textbook, but I'm also able to be more efficient with my time because I can play a podcast while I'm doing something that's very mindless, like doing my dishes, cleaning my apartment, making my bed, walking literally anywhere. Not only am I able to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, but I often find that the content that I listen to in those podcasts, I'm able to retain and recall more easily on a test, because when I'm doing something else at the same time as listening to the podcast, I find that I'm able to kind of associate that task and that day a lot better than when I'm just sitting down and reading a textbook page after page. It all just becomes mush. Now, generating a podcast is just as easy as the flashcards, so let me do a really quick demo. Here we are back on the homepage of StudyFetch. Instead of going to flashcards, this time I'm going to go all the way down to audio recap. I'm going to hit Create New. And then again, we have the option to create from materials or from a topic. So I'm going to hit Create from Materials. And as you can see, we have all of my lecture materials that I had uploaded from before. So I'm going to hit this one and then hit Next. So just like the digital flashcards, I can also customize my audio recap. So I can title it. There's also the option to specify what I want the podcast to focus on. I'm just going to skip that. And then also recap length. So normally I like to go long. Here you got to choose the types. I have been talking about podcasts, but you can also choose audiobook, lecture style, summary style, or even to a song. I'm going to hit podcast. And then you also get to choose if it's single voice or multi-voice. I like to do 2 because it's like 2 hosts having a conversation. And I can even choose what those 2 voices sound like. So let's choose Alex and Riley today. 2 females, why not? Girl power. Now the audio recaps normally do take a little bit longer than the flashcards, maybe around 3 minutes, really not a big deal. So I'll be right back when it's done generating. Okay, it's about 2 minutes later. It has generated. So I'm going to hit play for the first time and we can listen to it together.
Welcome to From Soul to Science. I'm Alex, and we're diving into psychology's epic evolution. So psychology as a field actually has super ancient roots, right? The very word psychology comes from Greek, combining psyche, meaning soul or mind, and logos, which is the study of a subject. Exactly. Way back, philosophers like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle were...
Okay, isn't that literally so mind-blowing and cool that technology can do that these days? Alright guys, so those are the top 4 underrated time management methods that I use as a very busy university student who's still able to maintain her high grades. If you enjoyed this video, we would really appreciate it if you gave it a big thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe to get more study tips and motivation throughout the rest of the semester. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.